part 2 of the spirit guide video. We had some technical difficulties when I was talking about spirit guides. My lamp went really dim, my printer went on and off, my computer froze, everything just kind of went weird. So it's probably just them letting us know that they're around, you know. So anyway, they can, I'll just recap. They can show up as, you know, perhaps an incarnation, their very previous one that they've had, the most recent one that they've had rather, or perhaps they will show up in an incarnation that they particularly enjoyed for whatever reason, or perhaps they will show up or manifest themselves in an incarnation that they've had, that those lessons and that knowledge that they've gained during that particular incarnation will be of benefit to you in your present incarnation. You know, maybe there's some teachings there, lessons, whatnot, that will benefit you one way or another. So that's kind of my take on when, you know, you're working with spirit guides and perhaps somebody tells you you have a guide of a particular ancestry, or perhaps you're doing work with them and, you know, you discover, you know, your guide shows up as whatever person of whatever race or gender and whatnot. That could very well be, you know, the reasons for that. So that's important to keep in mind, because ultimately your guide is made up of pure energy. And yeah, they might take on a form of a particular, like I said, particular incarnation that they've enjoyed, or their most recent incarnation, or an incarnation that they've had previously, that those lessons and that knowledge that they gained from that particular incarnation will benefit you in some way. Alright, so how to start working with them. I say make your own recording, you know, make a CD or something, and make your own meditative guided meditation type of CD, you know, talking to whatever your recording device is, you know, get your mind and your body to relax, and maybe have some soft music or whatnot in the background playing, and you know, slowly ease your mind and your body to relax and whatnot, and then, you know, take yourself on a guided tour, meditation, if you will, to meet your guide. You know, you could say something like, I thought it was a spider falling down. I don't like bugs. You know, you can say, you know, maybe something along the lines that, you know, okay, once you've done all that relaxation part, and then you talk about, you know, you are now, say, in the middle of a beautiful green field, and it's a summer day, and the birds are singing, the sun is shining, the sky is blue, and there's flowers everywhere, and there's little rabbits hopping here and there, and, you know, la 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 la, and then bring it up to a point where there's some sort of gateway, a door, some sort of portal, if you will, where your guide is on the other side of that door. And, you know, you walk up to the door, you open the door, you go in, and your guide is there waiting for you. Or it could be like, you know, you can change the setting to whatever you want, whatever you feel comfortable with. You know, maybe you go into a real awesome castle kind of thing, and, you know, you take yourself, you know, on this guided meditation. Perhaps you're walking up these spiral staircases, and, you know, you come up to this beautiful arched doorway, and, you know, you open up the door, and there's a big roaring fireplace, and somebody's sitting in the chair by the fireplace, and you know, it's this warm, cozy, fuzzy feeling, and that's your guide. And you go and you sit down in the other chair, and, you know, talk by the fireplace, introduce yourself, find out what they want to be called, kind of thing. In the beginning, maybe stick to it to just, you know, introductions and hi, how are you, what's your name, kind of thing. Do you have any advice to give me? And then, you know, then come back, right? So you can describe that in your recording, and then play that to yourself, and then do it, and then record your results on paper or whatnot after, when you come back to your normal waking state. So that's one thing you can do. You can try other things. You can try automatic handwriting. You can try different types of divination tools and whatnot, pendulums, spirit boards, etc. But I think, to begin with, it's kind of nice to do the guided meditation, especially if you create it yourself, because I mean, you know what your comfort levels are, and you kind of know where you're going with it and whatnot, and it's, you know, you're not in for anything scary or whatever. So yeah, you can do that. Talk to them, you know, even though you may not be able to see them, even though you may not be able to hear them, you can still talk to them. They'll nudge you in a way, you know. It could be, you know, just an inner knowing about something. It could be maybe you start noticing signs, especially if you start asking for help or assistance in certain areas, you know. Maybe all of a sudden, you know, certain phrases will just kind of pop out at you and just totally make sense for you. Or maybe a certain song will come on the radio and you're like, yeah, that's it, you know, and kind of like your answer comes through that way. Or perhaps in conversation during a particular day, a certain word keeps popping up. Those kind of signs, pay attention to, okay? And yeah, there's, you know, different ways you can work with them. And, you know, if you're going to talk with them, you can do so in your mind. You can kind of pray. I'm not saying pray to them, but you can, you know, just kind of talk to them. But if you do talk to them, you know, do so, I would recommend privately, just because you would look kind of crazy if you're out in public just talking to thin air. You know what I mean? So and I work with adults that do that. They've got cognitive and disabilities and mental illness, and you know, sometimes I wonder, you know, maybe they really can see things we don't, or maybe they aren't all as crazy as people say they are. Who knows? But then there's some days and I think to myself, get me out of here. Yeah, but that's besides the point. So yeah, those are just some of the ways you can start working with your guides and getting to know them and whatnot. And it's really non-threatening. They're there to help you and to assist you. They're not there to scare the crap out of you. They're not there to be mean or evil to you or anything like that. They're there to assist your own spiritual evolution. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And if you have any other, you know, opinions or techniques or ways that you work with them, feel free to share. Just off the top of my head, yeah, for myself, I like using the guided meditation and automatic handwriting. So that's what I do. You might want to give that a try and see how it goes. And yeah. And listen to your intuition, because sometimes I really do believe, like, although I think we all have that, there are times when I think, you know, whether you want to call it your spirit guides or your angels or both or whatever, allies and whatnot, that, you know, sometimes it's them giving us that nudge, like, you know, hey, you gotta be careful, or, you know, hey, maybe don't do that, or maybe you better do this instead. And it's important to listen to that, okay? So much love to everybody, and I'll see you guys shortly. I'll try to make another video. Ciao.